Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Arsenal TV. On tonight's show, this is a review, of the Arsenal and Newcastle game. We got another away win. Thank God for that. I am also joined tonight by Colin. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Absolutely buzzing with the result. Three wins in a row, two away wins on the spin. We're building momentum, and it's nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting the momentum now, and I think we're definitely heading into the right direction now.
Yeah, man.
So, Colin, I'm just going to get your thoughts on the game. Let's go to the first half of the game. What did you make of Arsenal's performance in the first half?
It wasn't great. Like, there's one player, though, that stood out, and that was Granit Xhaka in that first half. Like, he was the best player in that first half from our standpoint for me. But we created chances, but so did Newcastle. But neither side really did enough to be ahead in the game at that point for me. I mean, I'm not surprised from a Newcastle perspective, given how average their squad is. But one thing that they do have is work ethic. But with us, we just needed to be a bit more clinical. And Ramsey in that first half, right, he was so annoying. Like, the amount of times where he wasn't reacting quick enough. Because when Xhaka plays the ball to him, you notice that every time the ball came to Aaron Ramsey, what does he do? He stops and then starts again.
Yeah,
and it's so annoying. And there was a point in the first half as well, right, where Lacazette, right, he's in the box, right? Lacazette's in the box. All Ramsey has to do is play the ball across, and it's a goal. What does he do? He overhits the fuck out of that cross.
That is exactly true. It's exactly what he done. Do you know what? I think the first half for Arsenal, in my review, the way I looked at it, we was very flat. The way I look at it, we was very flat in certain parts. Defensively, I thought Mustafi had. This is probably one of his worst games, to be honest. I actually thought Socrates was the better defender today out of the two. Granit Xhaka, for me, I thought he had a decent performance, but what was missing from him was Torreira. That's my opinion. I just think that our starting defensive midfield should be Xhaka and Torreira without any doubt.
I agree with that 100%. But I also think that Emery did the right thing by not starting him, because he did pick up a knock in midweek.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And say that worsened. Who gets the flag for that? Not Torreira.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Unai Emery gets the flag for that. And he's doing the right thing by easing him in. Because let's face it, the Premier League and Serie A, completely different. Completely different.
Yeah,
I know that.
You know what? Colin, I was going to ask you, mate. Did you ever see the highlights of the Switzerland and England game?
Well, I don't watch international football that much. So.
No, I was going to ask because I saw the highlights of it, and the way Lichtsteiner was, I would have played him instead of Bellerin, to be honest.
Yeah, Lichtsteiner. No. The only thing about, to be honest, I think Emery wants Bellerin in this side long term. I think he does. But what?
So when do you think would be the right time to bring in Lichtsteiner? Do you reckon Carabao Cup or Europa League? Do you think that'll be the only time we'll probably see him?
I think that's what he may do. I think we'll play him in the Europa League without question. The Carabao Cup, I think we'll play him there as well. Or who knows, Bellerin might play in that as well. I don't know. I want to see Lichtsteiner start, but let's not forget that there's a lot of games to be played. Like, there's going to be a lot of rotation around. So, people are overreacting to, the starting lineups for
I'll tell you what, the starting lineup was checking goal. Then we had Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates, and Monreal. Then we had Guendouzi, Xhaka, Ozil out on the right. And then we had Ramsey in the middle, Aubameyang left, and Lacazette up top. That was our starting lineup today.
Yeah, it's unchanged from Cardiff. So, he's sticking with a winning side.
Which kind of makes sense, but I couldn't see why he put Ozil out on the right, where I think he's better off in the middle.
The only thing with Ozil out on the right, that all depends on how well the right fullback plays. If he plays shit, then you know Ozil's not tracking back and helping him. But Bellerin didn't do that bad today, which is why he did okay. That's what I thought from Ozil's performance today. He wasn't too bad. He wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't bad.
And don't forget, Ozil made his 200th Arsenal appearance today and getting a goal.
Yeah, that's good for him as well. Like, because listen, Ozil, he does get a lot of stick, rightfully so, because we're paying him a lot of money.
I believe we're actually giving Ozil, is it 350 grand?
Yep, that's the amount we're giving him. And he's not been the player that we thought we were getting.
Do you know what? I think Ozil's best performance, where he's proven that he is what he is, was actually against Everton when we won 5-2 last season.
Well,
I think that was probably one of his best performances.
Well, for me, the best performance I've seen from Ozil was Man United, where we slapped them 3-0 a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one, actually, yeah. Yeah, I remember that game as well. I completely forgot about that one, yeah.
Yeah. He's not been the player that we thought we were getting. Like, I mean, Damon came out on social media a few days ago, I think, and just defended him like, oh, this is just his style, like to be like perceived as lazy. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck was he doing at Real Madrid then?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, so Colin, just coming off of Ozil at the moment, what did you make of Arsenal's second half performance?
Much better.
Compared to the first?
Much better. Torreira, he's that guy that makes us tick, because we've lacked a midfielder for so long that makes the side click. Before it was Santi Cazorla, now it's Torreira. And the reason why Torreira makes us tick, he allows Xhaka to do what he does, which is pull the strings from deep, and he allows the forward players to go forward and attack while not having to think about what's behind them.
Yeah. Do you agree that we was missing that cutting edge in the first half?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's due to the fact that the forward players are concerned with what's behind them or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that the team fully trusts a midfield of Xhaka and Guendouzi.
All right, just bear with me, Colin. If you want to carry on talking, I've just got to turn my light on.
Oh, that's cool. Where was I again? Oh, yeah. The whole midfield, it's sort of unbalanced. I don't know why. Like, for me, Xhaka's better with Torreira. And he's limited with Guendouzi, Ramsey, and whoever else you want to put in there. Because Xhaka needs to be the guy that sits from deep and pings the ball in. With Ramsey, he goes forward.
I completely agree. I think that Torreira is the missing puzzle for Xhaka to be playing better.
Exactly.
That's what I agree.
That's why Xhaka is so. I've been advocating Xhaka staying in this side for a while. And the reason why is because there's no other midfielder at the club that offers the penetration in the final third that Xhaka does. And you've seen that today. What did Ramsey do? Nothing. What did Ozil do in that first half? Nothing. What did Aubameyang do? Nothing. Yeah. Who's offering that penetration in the final third? No one but Xhaka.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Guendouzi had that much of a bad game. Timing because we needed to knock it up a notch in that second half. Because if not, and he timed it wrong, I would have thought that Newcastle was going to get in front.
Yeah, like Guendouzi, like what we have to keep in mind is he's 19 years old. He's gonna have bad games here and there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Now, what I would want for Guendouzi is to be taken out of the side for a bit. Now, I know people are going to jump on that and think, oh, why would you take out Guendouzi? He's, he's playing well. Listen, his performances have dipped in the last few games, believe it or not. And
yeah,
what
I think that his past two performances have dipped as well. This
exactly,
is where I would change it and put in Torreira.
Exactly. And the thing with Guendouzi, he's 19 years old. He doesn't need people getting on his back at that age. Not even a little bit. Torreira needs to be starting in games, right? Now, I can understand why Emery didn't play him today, right? He got a knock in midweek, fine. Got no problem with that, right? If you want to protect him, per se, and not exacerbate the injury, fine. Don't have a problem with that. Don't have a problem with that at all. However, Torreira and Xhaka make this side tick.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Xhaka has to be in this team. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. He's done well this season, right? And let's not forget, Xhaka's best performances have come when he's played with Torreira.
Yeah,
which is why.
You know what? I don't think we're the only ones that's noticed that. I think there's quite a few Arsenal fans that have actually noticed that Torreira is the person that makes the difference and brings and just let Xhaka does what he does.
Exactly. But there's another problem that Unai Emery has, and it's Aaron fucking Ramsey.
So do you reckon we should get rid of him within January and bring in someone else?
Do you know what? For me, when he's
because there is rumours that he's supposed to be going to Milan, innit? AC Milan. Whether or not it's true, I don't know.
No. To be honest, when Ramsey's played, I've been less than impressed with him this season. I'll have to be honest. Ramsey has not delivered in any way, shape, or form. And the rumours are that he's asking for 250 grand a week. On what basis does he feel that he deserves that? Because based on the performances that I've seen, I'd only offer him what? What's he on now? Like 100?
I think he's on 100 grand, I think, at the moment. I'd probably give him, 120, 130 grand.
I'd only give him,
to be honest.
I'd only give him 130. That's what he's worth. And to be honest, based on his performances, I'd actually be tempted to just say to him, look, here's a new contract, no wage increase, there you go. Because that's the long and short of it. If he doesn't want to sign it, fine. Fine. He's not irreplaceable. There's better midfielders at this club than Aaron Ramsey, believe it or not.
That's true. What do you make of El Neni? Do you think he's going to get into the team at some point, or do you think Emery will just keep to what he's got? Because we haven't seen much of El Neni lately.
Has he been on the bench at all?
Yes, he has. I believe he was on the bench today.
Yeah, okay. So that leads me to believe that he will feature in the Cups and possibly Europa League. Maybe.
What did you make of Bellerin's performance today?
He was fantastic today. I thought that was one of his better games that he's played for us. He's gotten better going forward. Defensively was not bad today. You know, he was putting in crosses. He's getting better at that because Emery's wanting him to deliver low crosses, which he is getting better at that.
Yeah. And
he's actually putting effort in, you know? He's more...
Yeah. I'm actually quite happy with the way Bellerin played today. It's not probably one of his best performances, but he's getting to a stage where he's still improving.
Yeah,
but I do still think that if Lichtsteiner was playing, I do think he could still learn from Bellerin to learn from Lichtsteiner for when to go and not to go. Because I think that's one other thing that Bellerin is struggling with at the minute.
Yeah, he does struggle with that. He does, and I think Lichtsteiner will get game time. You know, people are overreacting about the start 11s, in my opinion, and I'm just like, listen, there's things in training that we don't know about. Like, for all we know, Leno might not be up to speed in terms of starting games. And if that's the case, I'd rather he pick Chet because I don't want a keeper that's not up to speed and goal yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's true. Do you know what? To be honest, I thought second half for us, I thought we played a lot quicker when Torreira came on as well. Mkhitaryan, when he came on, I don't think he'd done all that much, to be honest.
Well, he didn't really have much to do, really. I mean, the game was pretty much sewn up by then, wasn't it? So
yeah, pretty much. But I thought the substitutions were done at the right timing, really.
Yeah.
I was happy with Ozil. He did put in a good performance today, which I expected, but it's not a super performance. I'm actually quite happy with the 3 points, even though it was a 2-1 result, but at least we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters, really.
Exactly.
And it's another away win.
Yep. And do you know what? Last season, right, we went ahead in games away from home, and we still lost. This time we went ahead.
Do you remember that game against Bournemouth where we was 3-0 down and come back and Olivier Giroud scored the equaliser?
Oh my god!
Oh my god, that was.
I don't need to I don't need reliving that. I mean, like, I don't need that kind of excitement in my life because all I was putting it out there on Twitter this morning, today, right, and saying like, oh, I don't care if it's like a 10-9 scoreline, and I was like, nah, I don't need that, bruv. I don't need that. Jeez.
All right, do you know what, Colin? I'm just going to go through the stats for the game. Arsenal shots, we had 12. Newcastle had 4. Shots on target, we had 2. They had 2. Possession, we had 64%. They had 36. Passes, we made 596 passes for their 329. Pass accuracy, we made 84% to their 66%. What do you make of the stats?
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, the game played out the way I thought it would. I mean, I thought Newcastle would 5-4-1 it again, like they've done against City and Chelsea. But to be fair to Rafa, he went for it. He went for it with the 4-2-3-1.
I thought it was a bit risky, to be honest.
I had my doubts about whether or not that was a good idea. But what Newcastle fans appreciate is having a goal. And you can't knock them for not having a goal today. You can't. At least
you can't really take that away from them. They did give it a good shot. I have to admit, they did.
Exactly. And do you know what? They actually didn't play that bad. Yes, the second half they could have tested Czech a bit more. But when it comes to like possession and that, look, Newcastle, they're a side that really they're not fussed about keeping possession of the ball.
No. Do you know what, to be honest, I was kind of regretting that. I really hope that they wouldn't have got rid of Jack Wilshere because I think he would have fitted nicely into this team, especially with Torreira.
Well, look,
do you think Emery's going to regret it for getting rid of Jack Wilshere?
Nah. I don't think he will. The reason why is you can't rely on Jack for a full season. You can't. Like,
that's very true because of his injuries, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's the thing. Jack Wilshere isn't really that big of a loss. It's not. Honestly, he did okay last season. I wouldn't say he was outstanding, but the thing is, Emery's looking at it and thinking, okay, I'll offer you a new contract. Thing is, I can't guarantee you first team football. Now,
that's true.
Emery was honest with him. At least he's not saying to. At least he's like, not saying to him, look, I'll give you a new contract. I'll give you first team football, and then a few months down the line, break his promise, right? At least he's not doing that. He's being upfront and honest with him. Jack is like, okay, I want first team football. I'm not going to sign the contract. I'm going to get that somewhere else. And do you know, if Jack wants to do that, that's fine. That's fine. If Jack wants to do that, fair play to him. You know, it's not a case of regretting it or not. Personally, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. If Ramsey goes, I don't think we'll regret him leaving either.
So if we did decide to sell Ramsey within January, who do you see as a good replacement for him?
Well, it all depends on who we can get because
I'm being funny. January is really a tough time to actually get the players that you really want. Summer is mainly the time to get them.
Yeah, I mean, last year was a bit of a blip because Aubameyang wanted to leave Dortmund like as soon as possible, and he didn't want to wait till the summer. Mickey, well, the
Mkhitaryan deal. That was pretty much a swap with Sanchez, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, Alexis wanted to leave. Man United saw the opportunity, they took it, and the offer.
I bet he's regretting it now, though.
I don't know.
Because I'm being funny. I've seen Sanchez play with Man United, and he hasn't really been that great at all.
No, he's not been the Alexis of Arsenal. Let's put it that way. But I think he's played under the wrong manager. He really is. Honestly, Alexis does not suit Mourinho in any way, shape. He doesn't.
No, I completely agree.
Alexis is a free spirit that likes to get forward. Mourinho's like, no, you have to defend. Alexis, he didn't really defend for us, did he?
Not really, no. He just bombed it forward.
Exactly. So asking Alexis to defend is like
asking a doctor to sit.
It's like putting like a Fiat engine into a Ferrari. It just doesn't work, does it?
No. Do you know what, Colin? I'm just gonna get your players' ratings. What would you give Czech today?
I'd give him a 7.
I would. Do you know what? I think I would actually give him a 7 because he didn't actually put a foot wrong at all today.
No, he didn't do too much wrong. There was nothing he could do about the goal, and there was times where he made some crucial saves for us, especially in the first half. So
yeah, what did you make of his footwork with the ball at his feet today?
I mean, there was one hairy moment where he put it out for a Newcastle corner. I could do without that, but he's not doing that bad.
No, I mean, he's not doing. It's not doing as bad as before.
The passes he's getting from the rest of the players, they're the bad ones, not anything Czech's doing.
No. What would you give Bellerin for his performance today?
I'd give him a 7. I thought he did. 7. I thought he did quite well today. I mean, he's gotten better in an attacking sense, and that's always been a strong suit.
Do you know what? You probably might be surprised. I'd actually give Bellerin a 5.
Ooh.
The reason why is because of his tracking back.
Ah, okay.
He got caught out a couple of times today, which going forward he was okay. He wasn't too bad, but it was just that defensive part. He did get caught out a few times.
Yeah, that's always been his weakness, though. But look, thing is, over time he'll improve with that. He will.
Oh yeah, of course, 100% he will.
And this is a work in progress, which is why I gave him a 7, because he didn't do anything particularly wrong. If he did, I'd be downmarking him. But
yeah, definitely.
He didn't.
What's your rating for Mustafi today?
4.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. Do you know what? For Mustafi, this is going to be one of his most important seasons for him, because if he puts in I've even said in my preview, this is going to be an important season for him, because if he puts in the performances like he done last season, he's going to get shipped out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Mustafi, I can say this right because I watched him at Sampdoria when he was there. He's got talent. His only problem is he keeps doing that. That's his only problem.
Yeah.
If he can sort that, he's golden. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because he didn't read. There was two situations that he didn't read properly, which is why I've given him a 4. The goal for a start.
yeah,
That's
agreed.
no. Like, you don't give Hosselu a free header in the box. You don't. You close the fucker down. Simple as that. Right? And there was another situation in the first half, which I don't even know what that was. Like, I mean, I don't.
Was that when he slipped and lost the ball and then
Yeah,
Socrates had to try and retain it back?
yeah.
That was good bit of play from Socrates, though.
I do not know what Mustafi was playing at. For that reason, I've given him a 4. I don't want to see that ever again.
No, I don't either. But do you know what? I thought out of the two, I actually thought Socrates had a better game than him today.
Yeah, Socrates was brilliant. And on him, actually, I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I think I'll probably give him an 8. I thought he actually played well today. I think this has probably been one of his best performances so far.
That was his best game in an Arsenal shirt, mate.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
He do too bad against Chelsea, though, considering. He didn't do too bad against Chelsea.
No, he's not.
But I thought today this was his better performance overall out of all the other games.
Yeah, it was an improvement on Cardiff. It definitely was. He read a couple of situations well. He recovered fairly well as well. And for me, that's why he gets an 8, because when you're a defender, right? He doesn't have pace, we know that, but you don't need pace as a defender. All you need to be is in the right positions, and that's what Socrates was doing today. So that's why I've given him an 8.
Cool. I would give him an 8 as well. The next player in the lineup was Nacho Monreal at the left back. What did you make of him today?
I'd give him a 6 if I'm honest.
I think my rating for Monreal, I reckon I'll give him a 5.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do bad, but he didn't do great either.
Exactly. That's why I'm thinking of going somewhere in between.
I can't think of anything that he did that stands out. Like, I mean, he put in a couple of crosses, but nothing that really hit the mark for me.
Yeah, that's true.
He's usually better than that, but he's.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he was bad. He was okay, but nothing that you can really hit home about.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I'd probably give him a 5 for that, because he didn't really do nothing too impressive, and he kind of had. It's just one of them okay games where you don't have to do too much, but then you don't have to go too over the top. Yeah. So yeah, I reckon I'd probably give Monreal a 5 as well. What did you think of Guendouzi?
See, this is tricky because I don't want to hammer the kid, given that he's 19 years old. I'm not going to, but
I'd probably give him a 6 or a 7.
Do you know what? I'm going to give him a 6 because he didn't do bad, but he didn't, like Monreal, he didn't do anything to hit home about. Like, it was one of those games.
This is where I'm stuck. Whether to give him a 6 or a 7.
That's the thing. Thing is, though, he's 19 years old. You expect him to have games like that, but like, if it were me, I'd drop him out the team. Seriously, I'd do that, because the thing is, he is a young kid. He's gonna have games like that, but he didn't. The last 2 games, I would give him a 6 for both of those, because he's not really done anything to hit home about, you know?
No, exactly. Okay, the next person. Do you know what? As I said, I'll probably give him a 6 or a 7 when I do my players' ratings. I'm just not 100% sure what one yet. What did you make of Xhaka? What's your rating for him?
9. He was
I'll give him an 8.
He was that good.
Yeah, do you know what? In terms of the performance that he put in the first half, I'd probably would have gave him either a 7 or an 8. But overall, when Torreira came on as well, yeah, I'd probably give him a 7 or an 8. Yeah.
Do you know the reason why I would give him a 9? Right, the passes he was putting in, especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Right, he was doing everything right in the first half. Believe it or not, it was the players.
I thought that free kick was sweet as.
Oh,
He struck that like a beaut.
That was sublime, man. That really was sublime. Lovely stuff.
At one point, when I saw Torreira over the ball, I thought, no, he's not going to take it, is he?
No. Torreira, Torreira. I mean, Torreira's not the guy that will take a free kick. He likes a long shot, but he's not really someone that you put on free kicks, to be honest. But Xhaka's free kick, sublime, absolutely sublime, and that's what Xhaka's good at. That's what Xhaka is good at. He can spray the ball about. He can score bangers. Like, that was as good as you'll see. Like, but the reason why I've given him a 9, right? First half, he was the one doing everything right. Everything right.
Yep.
He was spraying the ball about, but the forward players in front of him weren't reacting quickly enough. And that's not his fault. That's the other player's fault, right? And when Torreira came on, completely different player. Completely different, because Torreira gives them the license to do what he does and control things from deep. And that's what he's good at. That's what he's good at, because Torreira plays to Xhaka's strengths, and that's what we were doing in the second half. And that's why he did so well.
You know what? I did notice that even with Xhaka and Torreira, we've actually conceded the less goals.
Yeah, that's the thing.
In terms of what we have with Granit Xhaka and Guendouzi.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's why Xhaka is my man of the match for today. Like, easily. I'm not having any other debate. Like, you can throw out, Lacazette. You can throw out, like, Socrates. Okay, fine. If you want to put those two out as man of the matches, great. Don't have a problem with that. But for me, Granit Xhaka was above them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually thought Xhaka could have been man of the match today as well. I'd probably go with him as well. But I actually thought Torreira put in a massive good shift in when he came on, though.
Oh, he does.
He was the key changer.
That's the thing, mate. Like, Torreira, people have this misconception about him that he's a defensive midfielder. He's not an out-and-out DM. What he is, though, is a Kante.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone whose work rate is second to none. Like, that's the best thing about Torreira, his work rate, right? He won't stop running. He loves a tackle. Yeah. The only thing he needs to work on is, aerial duels. But you know what? That comes with time. It really does. And I love him, right? I really do. Like, I've been watching him for years when he played for Sampdoria. He was their best player the last 2 years. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes.
The next player that's in it is Mesut Ozil. What did you make of him today?
Do you know what? I'd give him a 7. I mean, he scored the goal, which Xhaka set up again, which is why I've given Xhaka a 9. Mm-hmm. Ozil, he got the goal, but other than that, he didn't really do anything to shout about. So, yeah, I'd give him a 7.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think I'll give him an 8 because he did track back quite a lot as well.
The only reason I've given him a 7, right, is because we're paying him 350 grand a week, to create chances in the final third. We're not paying him that amount of money to track back. That's why I've given him a 7. Not that I didn't notice he wasn't tracking back. Of course I noticed it. But if I'm going to give Ozil a rating, I'm going to give him a rating based on what he did in the final third. And he didn't do a whole lot, which is why I gave him a 7.
Yeah. I didn't thought he'd done that much in that final third, to be honest, either. But Well, no, he's. I think this is what his first game back. Wait, did he play against Cardiff? He did, didn't he? Or did he not?
Yeah,
No, he didn't play. He did
no,
play against Cardiff, didn't he?
he did. He did play against Cardiff, and he got subbed off.
Yeah. So yeah, this is probably one of his first games as a full 90-minute match. So yeah, I just hope he puts in a better performance in when we play against Everton, which is the next Premier League game. The next person that's going to be in is Aaron Ramsey. That was in the middle of the three.
Poor man. Do you know what?
Do you know what? I think I would give him a 3.
I'd give him worse than that. I'd give him a 2.
I think I'll give him a 3 because, like,
Do you know what? It doesn't really matter what rating you give him. Either way, he was poor, man.
yeah, he was. Okay, enough about Ramsey.
Yeah, yeah, man.
The other player is Aubameyang out on the left.
I'd say a 4. He wasn't good today. He wasn't, which is why he got subbed off. Like, he was ineffective on the wing. Granted, the service didn't help him, but he could have done more.
What did you think of Aubameyang's and Lacazette's link-up play today?
Yeah, it was okay. Look, I've seen it better, but
Yeah,
the thing is, Aubameyang, I don't know what's going on with him. He's had a slow start to the league, man. Like,
yeah, he hasn't really got off to a flying start as we.
No,
probably...
I thought that once he scored last week, he would be off to the races after that.
Yeah.
And today, it just seemed like he went back into his shell again.
Mm. Okay. The other player is Lacazette. What rating would you give him?
I'd give him a 7. I mean,
I didn't think Lacazette done too badly today. Apart from he had a couple of chances where I think he should have pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, he could have gotten a goal today, but that was Ramsey's fault more than his, because Ramsey overhit the fuck out of that cross, man. But,
yeah, that's true. He did.
But Lacazette, he did get the assist for the Ozil goal, but what I want from Lacazette, I want him scoring goals. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do that, but he had some good hold-up play in the final third, which is why
I completely agree. He did.
Which is why I've given him a 7. But I want to see him and Aubameyang scoring goals.
That's what we brought him for.
Exactly. We spent 50 million on him to score goals, and I think he will, because I think Newcastle, look, they were always going to be a tough side. I didn't think we would batter them. I didn't think we'd win crazy 4 or 5-0 scorelines, like none of that balls.
I think that we were the dominant side though, from start to finish. When
I seen the lineups, right, I thought we would beat them 3-1. I didn't think for a minute we would keep a clean sheet, right? I said 2-1 before that because I believed that they would 5-4-1 it, which, based off the City and Chelsea games, you can understand why they would do that.
Oh, yeah, completely.
But when Rafa went 4-2-3-1, I was just like, you know what? We'll win this 3-1. Because I wasn't sure that a midfield 2 of Hayden and Diame was good enough to keep our front 4 quiet.
That's what I thought as well, to be honest. Do you know what? I was still thinking 3-2 because I knew it was going to be a tough game. I knew that Newcastle was going to put up a fight, but I was expecting more from Newcastle, to be quite honest. And I was expecting more from us in the first half. Yeah,
I mean, Newcastle give us problems in the first half, though. Like, let's not dress it up. They did, but the thing is, they dropped off in the second half, and I think that was their downfall. And the fact that they didn't test check until the 88th minute, that kind of says a lot about where they are as a club. You know, because
Do you
I've
still
got
do you still see them as a relegation side this season? I personally do.
no, no, no. Newcastle won't be a relegation side. They're a mid-table side. That's what they are at the moment. I think,
Even though they've got their problems with their owners at the minute.
yeah, I think Newcastle, the highest they'll finish is 10th in my view. I don't think Rafa's gonna improve on last season because of the lack of backing from the board. And that's the only reason why I don't think he'll improve on their 10th place finish last season. And to be honest, that's why I said in your preview, mate, why I feel sorry for Rafa Benitez, because Newcastle, in a fucked up kind of way, are almost a victim of how good Rafa is as a manager. And that's the sad thing, because Rafa Benitez, I have no doubt in my mind that if Rafa had funds, he would get Newcastle into the top 8 easily.
He probably would.
Exactly, because he's that good. He's that good. And before we had gotten Emery, as an outside shot, my mate who's a Newcastle fan was surprised that Rafa wasn't in the running for the Newcastle job. Or not the Newcastle, the Arsenal job. What am I saying? And I was just like, well, he wouldn't have been a bad shout, to be fair. I mean, I wouldn't mind Rafa Benitez as Arsenal manager. But
do you know what? I actually wanted, as a manager, I wouldn't have thought of Emery at all. I actually wanted Allegri or Simeone.
Yeah,
they were the two that I actually wanted.
Yeah, those two were. Allegri was top of my list, but the thing with Allegri, right? The one thing he's not done is win the Champions League, and he's come close twice. Yeah, and I think that's what is doing his head in, because he does want to manage Italy at some point. He does, because he's openly said that. And I think before he does that, he wants to win the Champions League.
Yeah. Now, Colin, we're just going to talk about the substitutions and give them ratings. Torreira, when he came on.
8.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely an 8 for me. Because I just think he was something that opened everything up and gave us that more pace.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, see when Torreira came on, notice how quicker we were in transition.
That's what I'm saying. The transition was much quicker compared to what it was in the first half.
Exactly. That's why you have to start Xhaka and Torreira together, because our best football comes from when we're quick off the mark.
Yep.
With Xhaka and Guendouzi in midfield, I don't get that feeling.
I don't either. I just feel like it's slow, it's backwards, sideways. There doesn't seem to be no gates opening in that final third. Whereas when Torreira comes on, you can see that the transition within the passes is much quicker, it's much fluent, and he likes to release the ball quicker.
Exactly.
It's like he knows where everyone's going to be.
Exactly. And the thing with Torreira is, right, everything he does is forward thinking. Everything.
Yeah. The other person is Danny Welbeck.
I'd say a 6. He didn't do anything to shout about, but the game was sewn up at that point, so he didn't really have anything to do, did he?
No, true. I'd probably I would give Torreira an 8. Welbeck, I'd probably give him a 5 because he didn't really have that much to do. Danny Welbeck. The other person is Mkhitaryan.
Again, 6. Game was sewn up by that point. Didn't really have much to do.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a 5. Probably the same 5 as well. Yeah, he didn't really do much either. Colin, the next upcoming game, I believe, for us is the Carabao Cup against Brentford.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Is that Wednesday, I believe?
I think it might be. Actually, if you just give me 2 seconds, I'll just I will check on my phone.
If that's not our next game, then our next game should be on Thursday in the Europa League. I'm not 100% sure which game comes first, if it's a Carabao Cup or if it's the
I know our next league game.
Europa.
I know our next league game is
Everton
Everton at
on the
home.
23rd.
So whether or not, thing is, right, we're on a nice winning run, and if we can beat Everton, then that would put us on 4 wins in a row. And the thing is, we're only 3 points off top 4 at the moment. So
I believe, are we only 2 points behind Tottenham, or is it still 3 points behind Spurs?
No, we're level with Tottenham because
we're level with Spurs now.
Yeah, Tottenham are in 6th while we're in 7th, and the only reason they're above us is goal difference.
Oh, okay, so that's the bit why we didn't go above them, because of goal difference.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm on the Arsenal bit now. Let's have a look at scores and fixtures. September.
Because I think Everton's next game is against West Ham tomorrow.
Yeah. We've got okay. Europa League starts on Thursday. That's our home game against Vorskla Potava. Never heard of them.
Neither have I.
Then it's Everton on the Sunday, and right after that on the Wednesday, it's the EFL Cup 3rd round.
So cool. So we've got Europa League first, and then Premier League, and then the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty interesting actually.
I think what may happen. I think Emery will put his best foot forward for that first Europa League game because I think he wants to win that again. Everton, I think we could see Torreira start. It all depends on whether or not.
I think this will be probably a good chance to actually play Leno for a change as well.
Yeah, I think Leno's going to play in Europa actually. Like,
yeah, I think he probably will.
I think he'll play on Thursday. We'll see a couple of changes on Thursday, I think, but he will want to put his best foot forward. Not precisely the first 11, but certainly some experience in there. Everton, I think he'll change it just slightly. I don't think he'll change it too much. Torreira, he'll start with Xhaka, and I don't see him changing the back 5. I don't see him changing the front three at all. So you might see one change on Sunday, but
one change I want to see is I want to see Ramsey out of the team.
Yeah, I don't want to see Ramsey in the team. I really, really
don't. No, I don't want to see Ramsey. I would like to see Ozil in the middle. And I would like, do you know what? I completely agree with what you said. I was thinking about that actually in my preview, because you went with Danny Welbeck, didn't you, out on the right?
Yeah, I did.
For the Newcastle game. Yeah, I was kind of thinking of that. I thought, I think I'll stick with Ben. But you know what? After seeing Ramsey and Ozil today, I would actually take out Ramsey and put Welbeck there.
Yeah, if he's
or even Alex Iwobi.
The reason why I said I put Bellerin forward in my preview, right, is because I didn't think for a minute that he would start Welbeck. Right, it's what I thought. See, that's the thing with my previews, right? I've always gone with it like, how could we get at Newcastle from a tactical point of view? Yeah. Like, and I wasn't sure that Welbeck was the best option, which is why I put Bellerin further forward. But I think if we're not going to do that, then Welbeck has to be on the right side because Bellerin needs that protection. And I think that's what might happen on Thursday. I think Welbeck could start on Thursday.
Yeah, because I personally don't see Ramsey on the right. I don't not on the right. Well, he was in the middle today. But if you put Ramsey
not a 10 though, Gruff.
No, I just don't see. Just don't think Ramsey will give Bellerin that protection.
No,
not as much as
Ramsey's all go and no going back. So
yeah,
like playing Ramsey as a 10 is like, yeah, okay, but do you create? Not really.
No.
And the stuff he does create, he overhits the fuck. So
yeah. So Colin, just to get your thoughts on the overall game today, what did you make of the whole performance from Arsenal from first half and second half?
First half was
just to wrap it up.
First half was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. But second half was much improved, and we got the 3 points in the end. So
yeah,
really, that's all we can ask. And this season, what people have to take into account it's a transitional stage. We're going to see a lot of different players coming in and out, and we'll be a different team by next season. So all I would say is enjoy the ride, lads.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Do you know what? My thoughts on the first half was exactly the same as yours. I just thought the transition between the players were too slow. I just thought we was a bit. We didn't have. I just don't think that we had enough ideas in the first half, to be honest.
No, no.
Defensively, I think our problem is the fullbacks, Monreal as well as Bellerin. I think that's one of our main problems. I know Emery is looking to get another left back in January. Is it Philip Lewis that used to play for Chelsea, but plays for Atletico now? But that's one of the players that he's looking towards and getting.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be against that, to be honest.
I wouldn't be against that either.
I would be against that as well, because for me, Felipe Luis, he never got a fair crack of the whip at Chelsea.
No, he didn't.
He really didn't.
I wouldn't. Long as he gets first team football, that's all I'm worried about, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is I think Emery wants Maitland-Niles as the long-term left back, maybe. You know what? I just think that's the wrong way to go, because I know for him, I just think he just wants to play. He doesn't care where he plays, but I just don't see him as a left back. I know he's done a good job so far as doing that left back role, but I just don't feel left back is for him. The only thing is, right, see if he wants, if Maitland-Niles wants to play, right, and we're going to go with Xhaka and Torreira, then Maitland-Niles would take a back seat almost, and Maitland-Niles is too good for that. So, for me, he's not done bad at left back. He hasn't. In fact, when he played at left back, he was one of our better defenders last season. So
that's true.
It's not. Don't get me wrong. I'd want to see him in midfield myself, because I know how good the kid is. But if he's not going to get game time in centre midfield, I'd rather him play at left back, because he's solid defensively, because he's a midfielder and he knows the role of how important it is to defend and stuff. And he's good going forward as well. So
just to get your rating, what rating would you give Emery for today's game?
I'd say an 8, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I thought I'd give him an 8 as well, because I think Emery has done well so far. He's made these substitutions at the right timing when it needs to be done. Brought on the right players at the right time, which I think was actually key to most of our wins so far.
Exactly, and the thing is,
as you said, it's a transaction, and we've just got to get behind the team and get behind the manager.
Exactly, now. And he's still working out the kinks. He's got a few dilemmas, but I think he's going to fix those, because I'm not so sure he's been impressed with Ramsey.
I'm not too sure of it.
I know he wanted to make him a focal point at the start of the season, but he's not really. Ramsey's not really repaying the faith that Emery has in him, is he?
Not really. Okay, guys. So, thank you for watching the review show with myself and Colin. Colin, as always, it's a pleasure for you to come onto the show, mate.
Cool, bruv. No worries, man.
Cool. So, guys, until next time, we are out of here.